Good morning, good morning, good morning. So we have been on 21 days of going live, and I wanted to share with you a clip of yesterday's message if you have not been able to see it. So you can head over to Facebook or YouTube, Instagram. I did forget to post this video, so please give me a moment or just go over to Facebook or YouTube so that you can catch up on the last 11 days because we're on day 12, okay? So watch this clip and I'll be right back. And so when I just got to that point where it was just like, God, so I always think about when I was in Brooklyn, when I was leaving my building in Brooklyn, I would normally always go right? I walk right because that's the train station that I like. Less people, less interactions. I want to go right. And I remember so many days God would be like, go left. Anytime God would tell me to go left, I already knew he was about to do something. He would tell me to go left. I remember one time, I was walking and I had headphones on, right? If you know any New Yorker, 9 times out of 10, we are walking with our headphones on. Don't talk to us. We're trying to get to the train station, to our bus, to our destination as quick as possible with less interaction. And God said, take out the headphones. And I was like, but I took out those headphones and I remember just walking and a woman made she gave me a compliment. See, it started with a compliment. And I had to receive that compliment. And me receiving that compliment, we now engaged in a conversation. And words that I needed to hear at that time, this lady, she just poured into me. And our short little walk together. Sorry about that. So yes, we have been live, great conversations. If you are here watching the replay, hashtag replay, so I know that you are here with me. And let's jump right into it. So today's conversation is going to be about balancing humility and owning your power, right? Balance humility and owning your own power. This is a very important conversation because so often people a lot of people don't even know the difference between all of these words. So I have definitions and we're going to tap into that because that is very important. We definitely want to ensure that we understand what these words are because words have meaning, right? And nothing is worse than people using words that they don't even understand, and which also plays into a lot of people playing small. My inspiration cup that I made. So humility. So one thing that we have to do is we have to understand. I'm going to define these in regards to how we use our gift. So you're not going to just get like the regular Webster dictionary. But when we think about humility, we want to acknowledge your gifts, right? While giving credit to God, because God gave us our gifts. So this is where we are truly just being humble and just like, like I know I have the gift of speaking. I understand that my voice is very powerful, but this is because of God, right? And so that is one of the big differences that many people don't understand is acknowledging your gift but giving all credit to God. So the last couple of days we have been talking about that where so many times people are like, we can't receive compliments or things of that nature because we can't see that the fact that God. And sorry about that. I hit something and it went completely wrong. So I know the last thing I was saying was that we can't accept compliments and we can't receive it because, and many of us, we are in this, it's just like, oh no, it's not me, it's God, right? So we do in a way deflect, but we really do it so much more in a way that we're playing small. So playing small is just, like I said, downplaying or hiding your gifts out of the fear of a misplaced sense of modesty. So basically you're just hiding it. You're just afraid of it. You're not sure if people are going to receive it. You're not sure if people are going to um acknowledge it. So we downplay it before anything. And that's what so many people are doing. And that's what I want us to get away from. I want us to get away from that because we're really just putting we're putting ourselves in a box. We're putting limitations. Like we're just not doing the things that we're really supposed to do. And then we also have, confidence versus being arrogant. And so this is really, I hear so often people be like, oh, well, I'm not I'm not confident, or that person is arrogant. I really do believe a lot of people do just throw words out there because they don't fully understand those meanings of the word. So remember, confidence is just standing in your power, knowing who you are and using your gifts for God. So confidence, we need confidence, right? We need confidence in how everything that we do, especially when we're using our gifts. So confidence is very critical. We do want us to stand in our power, right? And we do want to give credit to God for everything that we're doing. So confidence and humility are the traits that we really do want to embody. We want to embrace that as we are boldly living and thriving and using our gifts and operating out of purpose. We want that, right? We want that. But then when we're looking at arrogance, right? Arrogance is really just believing you're above others and God, right? And we all could probably think about at least one celebrity. Don't drop no names in the comment though. But we could all probably think about one celebrity who is extremely arrogant, who embodies that. Like, I am above others. My gift makes me better. I'm above God, even though God was the one that gave it to them. That's one thing that we don't want, right? We do not want that. We should not want that. So we have to really just understand which one is it. And I know that for me, I had to learn how to. I've never been arrogant. I don't think I've ever. I've never been arrogant. I've always been on the down. I've always been on the side of downplaying my gifts, my abilities, the things that I have done in my life, things I have accomplished. I have done that. I have downplayed things, but I've never been arrogant. There was moments in my life where I was not confident in what I was doing. I just knew, like, I knew I could. I know I can do this, and that was just the mindset. But never really had that. So for me, it's just more so, you know, understanding. Like we need a little bit of confidence. We need a lot of confidence to do anything that we're doing. Like I shout out to what is going on. All right. I think Instagram is out of here. Sorry, Instagram. I will upload this from my other social media. Something happened when I got kicked off. But yeah, so that's something that, at least for me, I know that my confidence has been, you know, a lot better. I would say in the last 7 years, it's been a lot better. Um, but I also just understand that just comes with me just owning who I am, owning my power, and just walking in that authentically because that is something that is necessary, right? So the last thing I want to talk about, not the last thing, I have like two more points. Oh, okay. They're letting me know about Instagram. Okay. So how does our faith ground us? Today's very noisy. I know why. So how faith grounds you. It's how I have it in my notes. So when we are having our faith ground us, we are recognizing that every gift comes from God. And that really does help us to be humble, right? Um Everything is coming from God. God is giving us these messages. He's giving me messages. He's giving me words to speak. You know, my mom said a couple of weeks ago, someone that follows me on one of my social medias, I'm not sure, but if you're watching this video, hello. And the person had asked her, like, where does she get these? Like, she's very wise. Like, where does she get this? And she was like, from God. Like, you know, she couldn't explain it herself either. She was like, God gave it to her, I guess. And he really does. And that's how I really just get my faith, because I understand that everything is going back to him. Because again, when we are humble enough to acknowledge that, yo, I have this gift, but he gave me that gift. That's how it keeps me humble. That's how I'm able to really just keep that balance. And then being able to use those gifts to serve and uplift. And I know, like, the other day, my friend Bola, who normally watches on Instagram, she had said that, like, we just got to just start serving and using our gifts to uplift people, to motivate them, to inspire them, help them basically to take the next step, whether that's the next step mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or in literal, like taking an actual step. So we just have to do that. And that's why we need to use our gifts. When we use our gifts and we are helping other people, that's going to eventually start the effects of them now embracing their own gift. And I think that's the one part that many people are missing out on. They're not realizing that part. We are all missing out on that opportunity every time that we don't use our gift, every time we don't own our power, or anytime that we operate out of arrogance, right? Or we downplay. Anytime that we minimize who we are and what we have, that is causing a ripple effect for other people to not own their power, to identify. So anytime that I don't show up and do these types of messages, or if I just shut everything down, there's going to be so many people who will never have the opportunity to get started and being able to get that seed planted. Because see, I tell people all the time, I don't do this because I know it's going to change someone's life. Hey, good morning, Paula. I do this because I know that it's going to be a seed that's going to be planted for someone else, right? And that's just how I look at it. It's a seed. And that's when that seed is planted, now we're going to start seeing other people pouring into them. And we may not see it flourish into anything, right? And that's not our point. Our point is not to be around to see it, but we just have to be the person that's going to deposit it, right? And so that's why it's so imperative for us to own our power and for us to be humble, but to also be confident. So we got to get rid of the downplaying, small talk. And also we got to get rid of being arrogant, right? Because you're not bigger than who created you, right? So if he gave you this gift and he needs for you to use it, you don't know better than God knows. And I know that's hard for a lot of people to believe. You are not better than God, right? You don't know better than him. You have some awareness, right? But you don't know better, and you don't know how that can really impact people's life. So we definitely gotta find a way to have balance. So I have some steps and some things that you can do to help you balance, you know, balance this power, this humility, this confidence versus arrogance. And one of the things that I know I started to do maybe about 10 years ago, practicing gratitude every single day, right? Practicing gratitude on a normal day, just every single day. What are you grateful for? I used to journal this. Sometimes I would just wake up and I just start thanking God. God, thank you for, for sunlight. Thank you for my health. Thank you for my family. We start listing. But in the same way, when we're talking about our power, we also want to be able to practice gratitude for the abilities for able to using our gifts, right? Your gift is going to have power. And so we do want to be thankful for that. Lord, I thank you for my voice. I thank you for my mind. I thank you for my hands, or that I can write or type. I thank you for all of these things that you're putting in me so that I can put out, right? And so we have to practice that. So we should be practicing gratitude no matter what. whether that is everyday life, but now I want you to shift it a little bit and now start practicing gratitude for those gifts that you're about to use, right? For the things that you're about to speak over your accomplishments without minimizing them or overly exaggerating them. But the main part is we want to speak about your accomplishments. And I think I said it yesterday or Sunday, where there are some people that do not believe that anything that you've done in the past matters now. Like I've actually heard people say, like, no one cares about what you did before. It only matters about what you're doing now and what's going to happen next. No, we do need to speak over and acknowledge our accomplishments that we have already accomplished because they do matter, because they still have power. Those narratives, those stories, those experiences still have value. So you do want to speak about those and you don't want to minimize them. Okay. And then you want to speak about the accomplishments that are coming. So we do have to remember, they say the power, that the tongue is very powerful. Our mouth is powerful. Your words have power. So you have to now start speaking them as if they are so. So if you want to write a book, don't just say, oh, I want to write a book. No, I'm going to write a best-selling novel or a best-selling memoir, right? Whatever that's going to be, you're going to speak it as if it already happened, and so that it can continue with that frequency. So many people don't, so they totally forget about their past accomplishments, and then they don't speak about the accomplishments that they desire, so they're just not speaking anything. That's a problem, right? That is a problem. All right. And then the last thing is, and this is one of the reasons why I started my community. We want to surround yourself with people who will keep you accountable and remind you of your why. That's what Inspirational Trailblazers is there for. Because I've been saying this from the time before I started this series, I've been saying this. So many people have awareness. People know what they're supposed to do. They are aware. They've seen the power of it. They've seen how it has impacted other people's lives. They've seen how it has impacted their life, but they have no accountability. And the lack of accountability is what is causing people to not move forward, because people just have awareness. Awareness needs accountability in order for any actions to actually happen. Who's holding you accountable? Who's constantly in your face reminding you of what you need to be doing? So if you don't have that kind of community, if you don't have that type of space, if you don't have those type of people around you, because a lot of us don't have that. You really might be the only person that is sitting in your community, in your group, that's thinking about things like this. That's thinking about, what is my why? What gifts can I use that can influence and impact the world? What is it that God needs me to do? If you are the only person in your group, in your friend group, your family that's speaking like this, you now have to go out and seek outside resources to support you so that you can navigate and go out there and do these amazing things. So that's why places like, oh, Jesus, that thing just took up the whole screen. So this is why Inspirational Trailblazers was founded, because I understood that everyone didn't have access to that. They didn't have access to someone, and everyone can't pay thousands of dollars for one-on-one coaching. They can't do that all the time. So when you go into a community that's going to give you that reminder, that's going to constantly give you that nudge, that's going to teach you something. I just did a 2-part teaching in my Inspirational Trailblazers community about purpose. The first thing I spoke about was how to identify your purpose. That was one workshop. Second one was how to identify the purpose blockers that's stopping you from living and doing your things as a purpose, as a person with purpose. If that's something that you're interested in, join Inspirational Trailblazers. Ladies, yes, still ladies. He's not nudging me and saying no. But ladies, yes, this is a space for you. You can go to Inspirational Trailblazers and you can join. And you can, if you want, go to the link in my bio on my page. Or if you are on not Facebook. Facebook is not going to see this comment until I post it. But you can go to my link tree and you can join. And when you use code March 25, you will be able to get 50% off for the first 3 months. It's only $20 a month. So that means that you would pay $10 a month for the first 3 months. But you're going to get access to these tools that's going to get you to that point where you're reminding yourself of like, okay, this is my why. This is my why. Now, I know that I can't force anyone to start living out their why. But guess what? I can be that reminder. And that's what I am. I'm a reminder. This is what your why is. This is why you need to do it, right? This 21-day series, that's every single day I've been going live. Today is day 12. So for 12 days, I've been waking up and coming live at 7 a.m. Central Time to have these conversations, to get people to the point where they are now starting to have conversations with themselves. Like, well, how can I live and thrive and using my gifts? And again, I know that I may not be the person that's going to see it happen, but as long as I do my part, this is the part I want us to understand. You just got to show up and do your part. God's going to do the rest. Let your ego die. It's not about you. It's about them. So it's not about me. It's about you. I just got to be consistent. 12 days. Have not missed a day, thankfully. Knock on wood. Even when we had last, Friday, I'm over here in Oklahoma. And if you've seen in the news, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Kansas, Missouri, tornadoes, snowstorms, crazy windstorms, none of that impacted this because I prayed over this. And I asked God, Lord, make it a way, because I know that there's people that's waking up. We have people like Paula, we have people like Suzanne that have been tapping in almost every single day. Somebody out there needs it. That's why I feel bad for Instagram. Something happened and Instagram got frozen. And I was like, we're going to have to just keep it pushing. But I know that I got to go back and I got to find a way to get that video to Instagram, because someone may not watch it live. And if you're watching on the replay, #replay, so I know you will see it with me, but they may not watch it live, but they still may need that message, right? And so the last thing is, I just want you to, I just need you to embrace your gifts. I need you to embrace all of the talents that you have. Don't allow anything to make you feel bad, make you feel guilty, ashamed for acknowledging and wanting to use your gifts. Because you are going to have people that's going to be like, man, can you just, like, why would you want to do that? You could just go get you this great fancy job, and you can definitely do both. But so many times people only want to focus on one thing. And because they only want to focus on one thing, they want you to focus on one thing. And God is like, no, we can do both. I still have a job. But you know what I've done when I've been able to do, and that's also something that will come up in Inspirational Trailblazers, I had to find purpose in my work. What does that mean, Tanisha? Finding purpose in my work, meaning how can I use the same gift as somebody's job? And I do. I am a coach at work, right? I coach new faculty members. I coach faculty on how to learn and embrace how to use technology. And believe it or not, when you're dealing with faculty members, a lot of it really has to do with confidence. Their confidence in using this technology. So a lot of times I'm just really encouraging them, no, you can do this. Like, no, don't, the limits and beliefs, we're going to throw them out. Yes, you can embrace technology. Yes, you will be able to, grade your students' work. Yes, you can do this. I had to find purpose in my work. I had to find, how can I use these same gifts, God, in order to inspire and help these people on my job? Mission was accomplished. People were like, oh, wow. Because when I first started, that wasn't my role. I prayed about it. I said, Lord, can you find a way? Because I like doing that. I like doing faculty development. I like where I work. Can you help me find a way to incorporate this? And literally in about 6 to 8 months, they changed my position and they gave me more responsibility of working directly with the faculty members because of the results of the ones that did work with me one-on-one. They came back to my boss, to my boss's boss actually, and was raving about it. And they was like, well, let's try to figure out a way. That's why I tell like, I'm like, I don't have a problem. I'm not one of those people that's like, quit your 9 to 5. No, you can work your 9 to 5 and you can use your gifts there. But you also got to remember, if there's still things that God is telling you outside of that, that you also have a responsibility to do as well. So I'm just going to put that in here, right? I want you to step out the shadows. I want you to shine, and I want you to remain humble. Let's go back to that definition of humble. We are going to acknowledge the gifts that we have, but we give credit to whom? To God. We're going to give credit to him because he's the one that gave us the gifts. So I want you to step out those shadows. I want you to stop believing that you can't do it. I want you to stop putting these limitations. Nope, you got it. You can do it. Let's move on. And so the last thing is just that trust that you can be humble. What's going on today with the internet now? Let's go back. Let's make sure that we can trust that we can remain humble and that we can have power and they can actually exist in the same space. It doesn't have to be one or the other, right? Just remain focused on the service part. Remain focused on the serving. Don't just focus on the other aspects. Okay? So that is today's conversation. That is today's message that I have for you. Again, if you are interested in learning about anything that I do, you can go over to my Linktree. If you have any comments, please drop your comments so that I can, oops, nope, that's the wrong one. Yeah, so here it is. If you want to learn anything about my community, you want to learn about my books, I have a book out, 2 books out actually. Transition to a Healthier You. It is on Amazon, Dear Single in Love. It is also on Amazon. My community, my courses. I have a couple of courses that are standalone courses that you can purchase about side hustles if you need to figure out how to. That's actually a really good course. I may talk about that next week, how we can take our gifts and we can use that to make extra money on the side. And again, I'm really big on like digital products, courses, planners, journals, and that's something that we are going to be going over in Inspirational Trailblazers. So if you want to be a part of that, you want to learn about how to do this, how to set up your account, we are going to go through the whole process, right? But and I normally I open it up to like Facebook. Facebook would typically get the live version of it for 24 hours. But the actual recording, the tools, the resources, because this particular one for Inspirational Trailblazers, I'm going to actually be giving them examples. So they're going to get a PDF where they're going to be able to download different tools that they can just now use to get started in creating their digital products. So that's going to be the main difference from the first time that I have done it. Like I've done them on YouTube, quick overviews, high level, but this one we're going to take our time to actually go through it and deep dive so that they can walk away, because the ultimate goal is to walk away with something that you can now put out. So some of you are already practitioners, you're life coaches, you are wellness coaches, and you want to know, how can I create this so that I can put it on social media, I can sell it, or I can now add it as an additional resource for my clients. So I actually am having that conversation with my own therapist. I'm like, okay, and not just for me, for other people, I'm like, there's sometimes that you just, you need to give them affirmations. Somebody yesterday inboxed me. No, someone was on our live yesterday and I sent them a bunch of affirmation videos that I created already. They're already on YouTube. They just may not have seen it because of the algorithm. And I just, not a problem. Let me send you these affirmations. And I just created all of these different tools and resources that is now beneficial to someone. And it took me a couple of hours to create. One of them, I sent them. I made that 2 years ago. and it's still purposeful today. So that's just the kind of things that I do. So you can kind of get an idea as to like what kind of support I provide. It's not just me talking to you and speaking inspiration to you. It's actually no, let's open up the computers. I'm sharing my screen and let's create these tools, and I'm gonna walk you step by step. And if you don't have access to something, because you're part of the community, I will go into my resources and I will get that for you and just send it to you. So that's the kind of coach that I am. So if no one has any questions, I'm going to end my live today. And I will see you all tomorrow, 7 a.m. Central Time, 8 a.m. Eastern. And as always, share, like, comment, let people know about this so that they can find some place to tap into to get the inspiration that they need to lead to activation for whatever it is that they are called to do and they know that they're supposed to do. So I am your girl, Tanisha Shanae, Miss Inspiration. Hope you have an amazing day on purpose, with purpose, and I will see you back again tomorrow. Bye. Have a good one, Paulo.